Hello everybody and welcome to my Ascension Messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson and I will be your guide for today. So, okay, let's get into this. We are doing some channeling with tarot and I do this every Tuesday morning, and then after the general, I always do open up the chat bar for free chat bar readings for those that are coming in. Yeah, I'm just going to tap in, and I'm starting to get this word maturity. It's interesting. It's like there's a playful energy when it comes to bringing in the imagination and, that childlike innocence that we have, that we step into when we move from moment to moment instead of moving through life from the logical brain, grabbing from the past, projecting into the future. Copy and pasting our life. When we move into moment to moment, there is that childlike innocence that comes in with that. But they're bringing up time to mature now, time to bring in the maturity with that energy, that right hemisphere, that feminine side of ourselves, where there is this power that comes behind the maturity of oneself. And taking responsibility for thy action, thy words, thy thoughts. And when we do that, we are stepping up our game, and we are looking to the outside world as if we are taking responsibility for everything. And so then the outside world leaves us alone and stops trying to control us, because they can see that there's something there, a spark within us that is aligning with our soul. And then it's almost like they're showing me, it's like a side-by-side feeling of the outside world trying to push us, and then we move into a different kind of a place where we're feeling really good about ourselves, and then this outside world moves back enough, still reflects, but moves back enough for us to have space to be able to produce or create something new here. And so bringing us back into alignment with the maturity of ourselves. They also brought up too just before, and they're bringing it up again. The more that we clear, even within our personal life, the more we're going to start to clear the channel towards our soul. So even though like things, we're peeling away ourselves until we bring more and more of our soul in. What's our soul? Soul's love, loving ourselves. So as we're starting to love ourselves more, and we're standing up, putting up our boundaries, and we're starting to see the issues from within us rather than projecting them out onto somebody else, taking responsibility for them, clearing them, and all of that. We're bringing in more of our soul. We're bringing in more love. And when we bring in more love, we are also clearing this channel to the soul. So everything that we do work-wise, when it comes to family life, business life, all of those sort of things, getting them into order, bringing them into order. When we start to do that, we are going to start bringing in more clarity of wisdom for our journey, personal journey, our unique journey, who we are, where we're going, and what we're going to do with our life. And each and every one of us has a different journey that we are going on. So this is the feeling that I'm getting at the moment with this maturing up of self, and seeing that the feminine, playful side of ourselves that is using our imagination to create, there needs to be a uplift of respect within ourselves, to be able to bring that in with maturity and see it for the value that it truly has. And it's an immense value. It is just as immense value as the power that you think is over you, overshadowing you from those that are telling you what to do in this world. That power is the power that you're feeling outside of you is a direct reflection of the lack that you have felt within you of your connection to your soul. So yeah, here we are. We're supposed to be doing tarot, but well, they are channeling through me big time at the moment, and I've just got to go with this. So even though we are on a tarot day, but I will be channeling, on Thursday, just straight channeling, and we'll see what comes through even more so for give us more clarity. If you haven't seen, my last video was past lives and ancient artifacts. It was a special message for those that feel like they have come from higher dimensions straight to here. Not to say that they're any more special, and I do mention that in the actual video. We are all absolutely equal here on this beautiful path that we've taken, and we chose this path. You chose your path. I chose my path. Everyone chose their path in alignment with who we are, and we go back and forth. We lose ourselves, we find ourselves. We all do this. So we all have just as many issues as each other. It doesn't matter if we've come from the stars or not. And also, they do want that. I probably will be bringing up another one of past lives, aligning those with the codes that they have held over and over and over again through being caught in the matrix. That could be another video that I could bring up, but we'll see what's coming up with these tarots anyway. I did draw on all these tarots because, of the YouTube and what they allow. It's funny what they can allow and what they let through when they want to. So yes, this is the card. She's meant to be very vulnerable, but it is the world. The world. Why do they bring up that she's meant to be very vulnerable? Maybe stepping into this new cycle, we might feel that vulnerability that's creeping in as well, but to bypass that with a level of maturity and respect of oneself is coming up. Okay, so we also have, what else has fallen here? The Death card. Real huge transition happening at the moment, and they're giving me the number 4, so I'm thinking 4 months. This is a transition that's going to happen over 4 months of really getting to know thyself, really understanding the power of who they are. They're saying thyself. That's why I'm saying thyself. I don't usually speak like that. Death card is, just let me have a quick look at that, because there was something in it that they wanted to show me. They're showing me that snake that's behind, the lies and deceit and the power, but there's a power behind this. It's interesting seeing lies and deceit from a different angle of empowerment, although the ones that they are facing and lying to are already in their victimized state of mind, so they're coming from the lack of. But their lack is the fact that they are denying themselves the power, the same power as what they had to be able to have foresight, to be able to see past the lies and deceit. So if all of humanity saw past the lies and deceit that's happening to them at the moment, it would change up everything, right? If we were really clear within ourselves and understanding who we were, it would shift the whole of humanity's consciousness. And this is what we're coming into alignment with, the power, the value in that, and seeing truth within oneself, and then seeing truth outside oneself is absolutely immense. It shifts your perception of your life, and it takes you towards a totally different goals than what you'd set out before, because the world was introverted and upside down, and those that were in charge were doing that for good cause, for not for good cause, for as a reflection of the fact that that the people were in lack of within their own power. They were just showing them where they were in lack of. And they came from their own imbalance as well. They came from their own lack too. A lack of can only push against a lack of. So it doesn't matter how big and powerful they seem, there's still a lack of. their power is like looking outside themselves to try to gather as many people underneath their belt, underneath them, whether it's in the family dynamics or larger. But they're still coming from a lack of, because they haven't found it within themselves. Okay, so we've got the death card that is showing up as a transformation card and seeing oneself and the value of who they are. And then we have the world card. Okay, there was another reason why they were bringing up that she was vulnerable, meant to be vulnerable. You know, I had to draw the clothes on her. It's because there is also a power standing in vulnerability and owning that. There is a power within that, because you are then free of the illusion that was pulled over your eyes that you had to be in control of everything. And when you gift yourself a vulnerability, your whole world changes. So that was the other message that's come through with that. And we also have the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords, very much sitting and waiting and trying to comprehend and understand self here. Sitting and waiting and understanding self, but not too happy. For some reason, there's this irk about the fact that we have to sit and be patient. Okay, so they're bringing me to, if you were just soul, and you were in the etherical, you're in the ether, you weren't in this body anymore. Everything happens straight away. Like you think you are your thoughts, and your thought, well, you are who you are in your consciousness, and then whatever you direct your attention to becomes very quickly. And even at higher frequencies, it does become quicker. In this lower frequency, we need to wait and for our outside world to match our inside world. And sometimes it's because our inside world, we are covering it up with all this material, taking ourselves away from the truth of who we are really feeling. So we're not really attempting to fix anything that's within us, but we are distracting ourselves with outside scenarios. And so to sit and wait could feel like forever, because we're sitting and waiting for something to change outside of us instead of within us. So we have to be aware of this. We have to really stand strong within ourselves and go, okay, there's something that's coming up, that keeps coming up in my life, and I see it for what it is. I understand that there's something I need to shift, and you might even know the answer that you have to shift, but you are diverting yourself with something else right at the last finishing line, trying not to go too deep within the emotions because you don't want to be vulnerable to somebody else, and then you end up showing your crazy side, or showing your emotional side, or showing something. But they're saying that to get to the core essence of loving thyself, we sometimes need to go through that process of really showing our vulnerable self, and to those that we love and those that we are hoping, and then, but standing strong within that, and saying, it's okay, I know what I'm doing, to that person, it's okay, I'm working through something here. Allow that to happen too. So even though we could be sitting and waiting forever. So I think they're saying to me that the closer that we get to loving thyself, the more we're peeling away things that we didn't actually notice before, because it was covered up by other issues. And then when we get to the core issue of something, it can feel quite frightening and vulnerable again. So let's see what else happens. Okay, Mona, hi. Hi, Mona. Hi, Mary. Hi, Sheila, Sky, Jason, Cherie. Thank you so much, Sky, for your message the other day. I pasted it everywhere on my Facebook as well, if you don't mind. It's just so beautiful, and I feel so lucky to have you in my life, and all of you in my life, obviously. I feel very, very lucky at the moment. And even within myself, I've cleared some more stuff. So see, it's really interesting. The more I clear outside myself, and that is lining up with the message that just came through, the more I do feel clarity coming in with these messages as well. And I am maturing up. So it is interesting. I get it now. I see it. I see that. Okay. Let's see what happens here. So we have the devil, which is those distractions coming up. We have the Hierophant too, which is like contracts. And we have the Four of Wands in reverse. So we have the devil, distractions everywhere, trying to pull us away. Well, we are doing that to ourselves. We are wanting to distract ourselves from the vulnerability that we have to feel within us to get to the core issue of why this keeps coming up. These things keep coming up. And so the devil really is just our outside reality and us saying it's more important than what I'm feeling within myself, or going towards that feeling within myself, so that I don't really want to go that deep. But they're asking us to go that deep because once you get to that point of aha moment, there's an aha moment that comes with these deep feelings or emotions that come up. And it's usually something it will always be something that's held in the past, because the more that we bring ourselves to a present alignment with our life, the more that we are living in cohesive expectation of our outside world showing up in real time, in the same time, and there's no more waiting, right? There's no more waiting. Interesting. And we have the Hierophant, which is legal contracts and stuff. That's another outside world, is like religious sort of, okay, here's the law, here's the rules, here's humanity's consciousness and their rules that we abide by. And so we have to have a collective that agrees to those rules before it becomes our reality. If you step out of those rules, you might feel like you're losing your sense or grip of the system or reality because you're stepping out of it. But to shift anything, we have to see even the bigger story, or the rules and the laws, and that we have been pulling over us. And do they have any true value? Do they have any true value, or are they? Because it come out with the Four of Wands in reverse, and that is, although very positive card in celebrations, wanting to come in. And this card here could be seen as like a marriage. If you brought those two together, especially like that, it would be like, oh my God, there's a wedding, there's a celebration, there's a union within you. There's something powerful. This is coming next to it in reverse. And I'm feeling like it's like, look, maybe humanity needs to look or address these overseeing things that they agreed on that really aren't doing them any good. It's actually keeping them in a limited reality. That could be the breaking down and the reshuffle of everything that's coming into your life. And this could be family dynamics. This doesn't have to be a bigger thing, although I always see it because we've got the world to begin with as a world. And so it's a collective that we're coming into that's could be changing up. And it's when this collective changes up, and we start to see the falling down of things that we thought were stable in our laws and our rules and all that. So, and then we could feel that vulnerability again. But then that's why they wanted us to do the shadow work first within ourselves, so that when things start to break away, we're not all of a sudden doing a last minute grasp for it. I don't know what's going to replace it. I'll grab hold of it just in case I don't find something else. We don't, that's the logical brain trying to make sense of the outside world so that it can, but nothing is making sense anymore anyway. And that's why it's all crazy. Everyone is slowly coming within themselves and creating their own reality from the inside out. And so we have all these millions and trillions of different realities playing out here. And then it's up to us as to what one we want to focus on, what one brings us happiness, what one makes us feel really good. And then we could have pockets of these kind of developmental groups that are creating different structures or laws or reasonings for their outside world to be as it is. But if it's keeping them in a limited state of mind and keeping them hating themselves, keeping them feeling vulnerable all the time, so much so that they don't feel like they're good enough within themselves, then that means that they are being held in a kind of a waiting game again. So this is very much a huge thing that's happening over the globe, especially since we had that world card come out first. Okay, let me have a sip of tea. Sarah, you made it. Good on you. Sheila, yes. Okay, here we go. Let's see what else happens here. What else is going to come up for the collective that's watching this show to give them better understanding of the energies present so that we can ascend and move forward gracefully. What can you share? There is no more deceit and lying to oneself. And it's interesting, sometimes we don't even see that we've been lying to ourselves. It's not until we actually go into that death scenario, break into the issues, become the vulnerable person, start to cry things out, become a little crazy. They're bringing up that song by Seal called Crazy. I'm just trying to remember how it goes, but they just did the title, so they didn't actually have the tune going through my head. The Little Red Riding Hood, I am not a victim. She puts her red cape on, right, which red represents grounding everything. It's a very grounding, powerful grounding color. She walks into the forest, and she is the innocent child that's picking the flowers. We are all that. Then along comes the wolf, and she doesn't see it within. She's too naive, and she doesn't see the wolf for who it is. It's the naivety. See, this is why when they're asking us to mature up as we move, as we bring in our imagination, and as we bring in our soul and trust our intuition and all of that, to find a maturity within that, the value of that. To become the goddess within oneself, doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine, because we both have both hemispheres in our brain that we're needing to address and come together as one, or come together as at least respecting each other, so that we can use each side of ourselves. Okay, I need to be logical. Okay, I need to be intuitive. We can flip from one to the other as we want, but we find, we've been taught through schools to buckle up and grow up and all of that sort of statement, what the logical mind tells us to do. You want the world to see you as a mature person. But if you're not feeling that within you, if you're not feeling the maturity within you, then it has no bearing or no grounding, and you'll constantly be overshadowed by principles and people that are in charge and all that sort of thing in your life, and then you end up having problems again, work colleagues that are pushing you into a place, and you're like, no, I have to look mature in front of this person. So even though she walked into that forest as a little kid, she needs to become the mature person who sees through the lies and deceptions that come towards her, and just goes, no, that's not my story. I love saying that. Whenever something starts to go wrong in my life, I'll go, no, that's not my story, because I don't want that story. I'm creator. I'm carving the path. I love it song, Sheila. She's written down some of the lyrics. In a sky full of people, only some want to fly. Isn't that crazy? In a world full of people, only some want to fly. Yeah. So that's it. We are living in this ocean of all these people that are just trying to fit in with each other, even though they don't fit in with themselves. And so they're grasping at everyone else, and everyone else is drowning. And we're all just kind of clambering onto each other, trying to find a place that we feel stable. And that is the crazy. So the one that's really crazy is the one that goes, hey guys, I found some land over here because I actually dug with my feet underneath this water and found something that's, some land. And now I'm moving it. I'm moving it up into this world, into the world, to give us some sort of grounding, because I love who I am. I've gone under, and I've went under the ocean, and I found some sand, and I'm pushing it up, until I make a bump to be able to save myself. So I don't have to keep struggling anymore. They went outside the box. They stopped trying to clamber onto other people to save them. And all we're doing is bringing each other down all the time. This is literally our reflection, in trying to make ourselves look good with the ego, and just reflecting back and saying that, and bringing each other down. But when we've gone, no, I'm going to go into the depths of my emotion. I'm going to find out who I am. I'm going to be the one that looks a little crazy when I start to struggle trying to find that sand to push it over the side. And everyone's going, what are you doing? You're an idiot. Why are you going deeper? Interesting what they're bringing up for me to share with you guys. Yeah. Hey, Bobby. It's so cool. You've got the same name as mine. Love it. Except I've got an E at the end of mine. That's so cool. I love meeting other Bobbies, because there's not many Bobbies around, right? It's a unique name, just like we are. Okay. Took me a long time to get used to that name. But then again, that's because I didn't feel very good about myself either when I was a kid. Okay, here we go. Come on, is there anything? Oh, interesting that I said come on. I don't usually try to make something jump, but it did jump. It's interesting too that happened like that. Here I am shuffling the cards and the energy of the cards, and I'm like, it's almost like that last push through the egg, like that last through the egg of consciousness into loving myself fully, is just going to be this. Because as soon as I went, come on, like I literally was determined to get something falling out of these cards. And I never do that. I allow the flow of life. But it's almost like that's part of the flow. It's like we need to, they keep showing me this baby chick in an egg, and he's like so comfortable in there. And then it's like starts to get a little uncomfortable and a little bit more uncomfortable, because he's got bigger and bigger, and then his feathers are pricking into everything, and it's just kind of annoying. And then he just goes, okay, enough. And he just kind of pushes himself just that little bit further. And maybe we need that gusto to really push into this next stage, because we are tired of doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results through the lack of ourselves. And that was exhausting work, feeling like we never really got anywhere, or we got somewhere and it was depleted within, a year or so. It didn't last very long. And we want to find this stability within ourselves. So this last push feels like, and this is what fell out. Artemis of the forest. Now you are independent and free. And how ironic is that? And beautiful is that? And she is now one with all the animals and everything. She's now one. I just remembered there was a message that came through that I wrote on my phone about the animals. I'll bring it up on Thursday because I haven't got my phone here, but unless they bring it up. But in any case, it was something to do with a lack of empathy within ourselves. Humanity's consciousness has a lack of empathy on the outside world because we haven't found it within ourselves. We aren't loving or compassionate with ourselves enough to be able to feel what the outside world really wants as well, because the outside world is part of us. It is the same. So coming into understanding that everything outside of us is part of us as well. We're not just this body. We are beyond the body. We are the reality that we are creating. And when we start to come into ourselves and feeling more of who we are, we start to realize that. And so we become entangled in our outside world, and then we become telepathic. We become consciously aware of others who are feeling a certain way, who to stay away from, who to bring in, who to help. All of that becomes natural for us. And that's why whenever you see a guru or some sort of guru person, when you walk up to them, you can feel, they're letting me do this lesson on my own, and they're just walking away, and they seem from my ego to be rude, but they're not being rude. They just know that that person had to have their lesson on their own. And then the next day they walk up, you've had the lesson, and they'll come up and talk to you face to face as if you're an equal, because they see you as an equal. But within themselves, they know that they have to hermetize themselves to be able to fix a problem. And so when they see you, they will see you as that person needs to hermetize themselves to fix the problem. And so we have to do that within ourselves to become the masters of ourselves. Interesting. Okay. Just going to find my slipper. Okay. 32. Let's see what these cards have to say for the general reading as well. Lots of forest coming up in these cards. Ooh, I just noticed this. So we have forest. Even the death card has a dark forest within it, sitting in a forest. And Little Red Riding Hood going into the forest. A forest and a lot of animals coming up in these cards as well. Snake, wolf, deer, stag. Powerful animals. Going into the forest of self to find the power within oneself to move, to shift even more. This is literally the ascension that we're going through. The energies pelting us at the moment from the sun and the cosmos that are getting us to shift, are asking us to go deeper, go deeper. Yeah. Go deeper. That's where you're going to find the gems. That's where you're going to find yourself. Oh, shuffle that way. Mary, been helping stray cats rampant in my neighborhood. Yeah, come on. A cat lady. So cool. To who though, right? It makes you feel happy. So that's so beautiful. Not a work of money. But you'll be carried. Morning, Joe. You'll be carried, Mary. You'll be carried. Because you're carrying yourself. Don't even worry about what the outside world feels. Something there that you're going to learn about yourself. It's interesting, isn't it? And the heart that we have, and being able to trust our heart to do what we really desire now. Interesting. Okay. Any other messages? Any other messages? we had a couple fly out here. A ruby star, interesting too, because we have the Red Riding Hood and the ruby star. So here we are, we're grounding this, and the red cape on the death, capes, red capes, the ruby star. Flow, I embody my authentic and sensual essence to love thyself in the physical, to support who you are 100%, instead of, and this is one of the things that I learned myself, instead of seeking for something that you were lacking of when you were a child, and you're constantly seeking it outside yourself, they want you to go back and see how you can support yourself from maturity. And so you're no longer seeking that value anymore outside yourself. Yeah, you're seeing the true essence of who you are. And we also got Maya, which is really freaking interesting, because in my journey, they actually led me to Out on a Limb movie. There's two parts on YouTube, and I've never seen it before. And it was so interesting. I've forgotten the lady, that's a famous lady. I'll just quickly look that up, see if I can find it in my history. There she is, there actually. Sorry guys. I'm just gotta find her name. Of course I can't find her name, even though I can see it. And I clicked off it. You know what? I'm going to find her name. I'm terrible at names, really bad. And I've got to get better at that. So sorry, guys. Distraction, right? Anyway, I watched this movie, and this is a beautiful actress that becomes spiritual. You guys might know her name. Shirley MacLaine. Thank you, Mary. I'm so grateful for you guys helping me out with this, these readings. Right. Especially when it comes to the logical side. So I ended up being taken to this movie just a couple of days ago. And when I was watching this movie, they started talking about Maya. And this lady that this guy came up to, that he literally fell in love with, but he didn't want to see it like that because it was more of a spiritual thing. And she guided him to guide Shirley MacLaine into producing this movie. And she was from Pleiades. And we all know that I'm from Pleiades. Like, I'm pretty much straight from Pleiades. I've been told that by an elder over in Ohio. I'm doing a whole big thing about that at the moment too, in a video that I'm creating. But in any case, which is part of the reason why they brought me to this movie. And they started to bring up all those messages that the Pleiadians were bringing through. And honestly, it could have been what I'd said in all my channelings. It was so the same as what I bring up. So that was validation plus, because it was clarity that was coming through, because I just cleared my own issue, one of my own issues, a big issue of self-support, and denying myself that support, trying to seek it outside myself, constantly feeling terrible when it wasn't happening, and then finding I've got to bring it all back to me. And so I ended up finding this clear path, channel path, ended up watching these movies through this, and it's like now I am even more understanding that what I am speaking, I am aligning with even more, and I can literally help you guys as a guide even easier. Anyway, big story right there. The universal midwife, birth. I birth fruitful and sacred assignments. So we have the death card and we have the birth card. We are literally going through a massive transformation here, guys. This is huge. And we will find clarity as we start to birth new things. The more that we start to learn to let go of these thoughts, energy, expectations, all of that, we start to bring ourselves into alignment, more alignment of our grounded, stable self. Literally showing me the Tower of Pisa at the moment on the side. You know, it's got a stableness, but it's out of balance. And so to shift that, we need to literally prop up the side and bring it over and put new foundation underneath it. And oh my God, literally, I think everything would start to fall because so they know that, so they haven't even done anything about it. But that maybe that space on Gaia wants that to fall so that we can actually have some new grounding here. Interesting that they're saying that. Breaking away of things that we thought were making us stable, but were actually keeping us in a limited consciousness. And then it will rebirth. We will rebirth into something completely new. We will see a clearer channel for ourselves and our soul and understanding and wisdom and our creative endeavors, things from past lives coming back for us that we had already accomplished in past lives that we are denying in this life because we have a fear of it's not going to be expected of us in this life. And so we don't even go there. And all of a sudden, when you do find clarity within yourself, you might realize you were a piano player. You might realize you did have the ability to be telepathic all the time, and you just didn't even address that as something because it wasn't going to fit into the world. Or you were hiding the ability that you were a fast runner because whenever they're showing me in an easier way, like the logical sense here. Say you were a runner in a race, and every time you went to run the race, you hurt your big toe, or you twisted your ankle, or somebody died in your family and you emotionally weren't with it, and all of that sort of stuff kept happening. So you kept losing the race, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm going to just focus on me, not everyone else out in the world, and just going to focus on loving myself and my big toe and my ankle and everything, and loving who I am so much that when you run that race again, they found out that they were the fastest one there. That's the sort of thing that I'm feeling. It opens the door to things that we didn't think were possible for ourselves, but always were, and we always could have been in alignment with. We just were covering it up with these issues and trying to grasp outside of ourselves to be able to fit into a system that doesn't work for us. And it expands us into the forest, and we become one with more. Okay. Hope I didn't diverse too much there with that Shirley MacLaine story. And out of a limb. But if you haven't seen the movie, I only just watched it, which is so perfect for me to just watch it now. Because if I watched it before, because I don't watch other channelers or anything, I want my channeling to be really direct and me trust it. So I don't watch anyone else as in channelers. And you know, it's really interesting that they gave that movie to me now, because I wouldn't normally watch a channeling movie. I didn't know it was one. Didn't even know what I was clicking on, to tell you the truth. And it has this beautiful, oh my God, everything that I'm saying is what the Maya came through with the Palladians. And I love it. I love the synchronicity of all of that. So beautiful. Anyway, it's given me even more stability in doing this work, because I know I'm on the right path, but I really, really even more so know, and I'm getting excited about where this is going to take me. Okay, what are we going to do? We're going to open up the chat bar for free readings, aren't we, guys? Because you guys are waiting for some free readings. So I'll do a quick animal card while we're waiting for those that want to have a reading. They're so good. Okay. So we have the loon, intuitive. Listen to the song of your soul. Trust your intuition as you have a way of knowing. Emerge from the busy life and seek more solitude. It did say go within self again. Recognize that you are unique and that you are loved. You are love. Your soul is love. What your consciousness is love. God, source energy, it's the same thing. We're all entangled with that. That is one thing, and it is beautiful. And you are God itself through the soul connecting to you, going on this beautiful journey. So let's go into, I'll grab these tarots for some general readings. Just realize the time. Okay, MK, we have the Lovers card pop out for you straight away. Ooh, the Lovers card. So embracing oneself within oneself is going to attract even more outside yourself and on all of your relationships that you are either trying to accomplish or already in your life growing. They're definitely bringing me to outside reflection of you coming in. The more you love yourself, the more you're going to see this value of others coming into your life that you can love. It's going to expand. It's quite beautiful. I like that. That's a nice card to have. Mary, Mary, meow. I love cats. I've always had a cat around me too. Now, and I never liked dogs for all that time that I was imbalanced and only, into had a lot of visions and everything. All of that life that I had before, I loved cats and I never liked dogs. And then I started to shift into loving my logical side of myself and acknowledging that as part of the journey. And now I love dogs. So I love cats and dogs just the same. So interesting how that was in a reflection. There might be something for you too, Mary, just to have a ponder over. We do have distraction card. No way. How can you've got similar cards that came out in the main reading. Distracting oneself so that you don't see something within you. Just be aware of that distraction, because there's a King of Pentacles trying to come through for you. King of Wands. I don't even know how to say Pentacles. So it might be abundance as well as a business forming or something that you aspire to become. And I feel like you might be distracting yourself a bit with something else so that you don't need to address this other thing that's wanting to come in to bring you even into more superiority, leadership roles, something like that, something that gives you command of your reality, of your life, and command as in co-creating with others. There could be a distraction, see, coming in with that. So just be aware of something distracting you away from becoming more. Okay, who else have I got? Bobbie. Bobbie, you have this. There could be some balance coming in for you and juggling a few things at one time. They're bringing me to if you have a lot of things that you want to do or accomplish, instead of trying to logify it all, drop everything, put it on the ground, and then trust your intuition or the love of who you are. I feel like doing this now. And then when you feel like, oh no, now I feel like doing this, but be 100% in what you're doing. Be 100%. There's something it came kind of on its side actually, which was the Eight of Wands. Something sliding in here, fast moving sort of something. The energy that you have, it could be that you are bringing in something fast and you feel might be a bit of anxiety around it. So there's like this juggling or choices to be made, and finding balance within oneself is to literally allow the creation to flow. To allow the creation to flow is to learn to become one in the moment. And to do that, we need to let go of the logical mind trying to predict everything, because it cannot. It's impossible. It will drive you insane. Drop everything and allow your feelings to lead your way, your heart to lead your way a lot more. Okay, what else? Who else have we got here? Kelly K. Kelly K. Why does the heart? No way. These two cards keep coming up. Isn't that interesting? I'll put them back in, but just be aware, Kelly, that maybe the message that I gave for Mary might be for you as well. But yeah, like I'm putting them in the middle there. Don't come out again. That sounds terrible. I'm getting bossy with my cards. Why am I getting bossy with my cards? That's not normal. Okay, so you do have the Magician. Kelly, there's something within you that wants to come out as in you carving, creating your next step. And the Queen of Wands, she is so mature, she can leave her throne and she can go and help others. So there might be something that you might need to go help somebody else. We do have another card that came out, which is the King of Swords in reverse. Speaking up for oneself, finding oneself in a place where we can just use our ability to be strong within supporting who we are and what we say and speaking up. I see that you're actually carving something new here. You're in the midst of creating something different. Keep going. There's fruits coming, like they're showing me that fruit basket standing out. So there's fruits of your labor coming in to show you a reflection of the work that you've done. Just keep moving. Keep moving. All is one. Should I go back to the beginning? Yeah. All is one. Okay. All is one. All is one. It's so interesting. Shuffling away, and then as soon as I get that feel again, they pop out. Okay. Definitely we are breaking through the egg at the moment. That's the energy. We're breaking through the egg. Like Fool, the Fool card and the Two of Pentacles again. How can that happen? Okay. Whatever. But they're showing me with you that there's this observer coming in. There's a spiritual imbalance or a balance that's coming in for you to realize that there is help from etherical nature or wisdom coming through, or understandings, to jump off the proverbial cliff into this feeling of, I don't know exactly where I'm going to land here, but I'm choosing to jump. I'm choosing to jump. So because I see that there is some, it's almost like instead of, we cannot see the etheric, but we can see the etheric with the third eye. We can feel it, and we can see it in the respect of, we go within and then we can feel it and we can see it kind of playing out. And that's why the etherics or the guides and all that come in through dreams and stuff at twilight and all that, when your logical mind's nearly coming in so that it can remember it when you're awake and all that sort of stuff. They call it twilight when you're just waking up or just going to sleep too. That can be another time. But in any case, there's something coming through to you from the etheric that wants you to bring in balance again, because they want you to jump off a proverbial cliff into something unknown territory, and trust your heart. Trust where this is taking you. Black diamond. Black diamond, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Working at something. It could be a bit of, like straight away when I said working at something, I had the word struggle coming in, and it might feel like you've been struggling to get this off the ground or moving forward, or something coming, and it's not quite right yet. But I do feel like with this card coming up, keep going. It's interesting. All of these messages are saying, keep going, just keep going. It's like that push through that egg. Just keep going. We are on the right path. We are moving towards our unique self. Keep going. Sometimes that push that breaks the egg is actually going deeper into the emotions of ourselves to clear out something that we thought we didn't realize we had to clear. They're bringing that up, so I'm bringing it up. In any case, Kelly K, you have a hangman. So you are literally hanging to see a new perspective. It's almost like a waiting game, hanging there. They want you to just enjoy the fact that nothing seems to be moving at the moment as much as what you was hoping. And see life, because this is the time for you to go inward to see life from a new perspective so that you can move forward with clarity next time. You might seem like a fool for not accomplishing what you wanted to do, or it's not quite happening, but it's actually part of the flow of the river, your life, your where you're taking yourself. This is part of it. If you didn't have this part, then you will keep going on the same river instead of seeing that there are streams coming off the river wanting to show you a shortcut into something better, towards a lake, towards an ocean, towards a broader, more expansive opportunity that's coming in. Yeah. Don't forget, guys, I do one-on-one readings. If you want, there's a link down below, Codes to a New Reality. Just go on my website and choose the Intuitive Counselling, and I tap into your soul. There's a whole heap of reviews and references. I've done over 400 readings and heaps of references there. I've put every single reference up on my thing, so bad, good, and different, whatever, but I've been really fortunate. I've only had good ones. Yeah. So I hope, guys, that this helps you heaps. I'm going to have to love you and leave you here. And don't forget, next Tuesday, I'll do exactly the same thing. And on Thursday, I will be channeling through some really interesting messages coming through from from the Cyanians, Pleiadian Cyanians. Cyanians are the higher dimensional Pleiadians that are close to oneness, and through Gaia, elementals, Arcturians, whoever wants to come in. Some reason the Lyrians are starting to come through me a bit more as well. Something to do with ancestral artifacts that are coming up. Anyway, I just go with the flow and see where we go. And that's only because throughout my whole life, they visited me, and I actually got to see a lot of different beings, and they gave me a lot of different messages through actually seeing them. So love you guys heaps. Oh my God, Kelly, I am so appreciative. Thank you so much for giving me that money. Yeah, really, really appreciate that. No, you're beautiful. Thank you so much. And nobody has to give me any money, but it's obviously beautiful when it happens. So thank you. And I love that reflection that comes up for my own self-support. Thank you. To everybody for all of your help and sharing and subscribing and liking and all of that. It's going to become big. I know that 100%. So I'm not even worried anymore. Finally letting go of the worry of where this is all going to go. So, and if it's going to happen, so I'm not worried anymore. I know it is. So I love you guys heaps. Until my next videos, look out for the videos that I produced during the week. Also, I'm having an interview with beautiful Peter. Peter is a scientist guy. He's very science-minded, but he loves this the spirituality. And when we get together, it's like science meets science or logic meets spirituality, and we end up having these really cool quantum conversations. So we're going to be getting together tomorrow and having this beautiful conversation, and then I will bring that up as a video in the next week or so. So love you guys. Until next time. Bye.